happens when you put an attorney, a musician, a set of twins, two travel enthusiasts, a purpose coach, and a podcast host on one stage? Success in the City. The podcast, a live reunion of all the guests from Successful But Single podcast, where we're doing our thing without a ring. Join us for the replay as we discuss all type of topics, such as what's the weirdest way somebody slid into your DM and did you respond? Or do women just go out on dates just for the free meals? And is it always men's fault when the relationship goes wrong? Join us right here this week for this topic with super sensational singles.
Welcome, twins.
Hi, Ben.
In harmony as always.
I don't know how that happened.
All right, so we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all, if y'all are out there in podcast land, welcome. This is Success in the City, sponsored by Successful But Single podcast, where we're doing our thing without a ring. I am your host, Natalie Freeman. We will be able to introduce our guest in just a moment, y'all. So come on in, share the video with your friends and your family and your neighbors and your friends, because we're just about to get with it. I hope you had a great weekend. I know you're watching the Olympics and all the other kind of stuff, getting ready for the week, but we want you in here. We want you live because we're about to share some great information. You're about to get a chance to meet our podcast guests. It's one thing to listen to the podcast. So y'all, thank you for listening. Because first of all, because of you listening, that's how we have a podcast. That's how it's successful. And it's been successful. Y'all, how successful since the Genesis? We have had over 2,500 downloads, y'all, in a very short period of time. Come on now, whoop, whoop. Yes, whoop, whoop. And so 30 countries, y'all. So we are doing the doggone thing. So guess if you can go ahead and share this podcast to your personal page. If you are coming in, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with us. Everybody's going to take 2 seconds and share, including myself. And we're going to roll on. Roll on.
I don't see the
Yes, yes. So thank you, Risha, for watching with us and everybody else who's watching. So guests, get ready to introduce yourself. We're going to be doing that shortly. Everybody okay out there? Can you hear us? Can you hear us out there? Everybody okay out there? Can you hear us? Can you hear us out there? Yes. Oh, thank you, Sean. He said, women, y'all looking amazing, looking amazing. Now, that doesn't mean that the men aren't looking amazing. You know, I guess, you know, he's just picking who he wants to compliment. So nothing wrong with that. So, you know, we're just going to go ahead and roll on. And I'm going to put this phone down and we'll just worry about the sharing later. So all y'all share to y'all pages just to make sure it gets out, and I'll share it to my personal page in a minute. So again, y'all, this is Successful But Single podcast. We are doing our thing without a ring. It is time for the Success in the City podcast reunion. That's where we bring all the guests back. Well, not all of them, just the last 10, right? Because you saw the last 10 before. We bring the podcast guests back so you can see them. It's one thing to hear them, but it's another thing to see them, interact with them, and that's how we're doing now. So tell everybody, hey, shout out your favorite podcast guests, or shout out all the guests, and then tell us where you're logging in from so we can see you, we can hear you. Can't smell you, but I'm sure you're smelling good. And we're going to get on with our introductions. So our first introduction, I am going to start with Miss Christine. We want you to tell us who you are, what your initiatives are, if you have anything coming up. Tell us if what you've been doing since the last podcast. What's the most unique way somebody has come into your DM? Have you answered them? Did you answer them or did you ignore them? So answer or ignore. And then I need you to pick somebody else. So I know that was a lot. If you forget some of that, I'll remind you. Christine,
I know you will. Hello, everybody. I am excited about being here. I am Christine, the Purpose Coach with mypurposecoach.com. How's everybody doing? Check that out. So I'm really excited about being here today. And thank you, Natalie, for inviting me. I think it's great. All of you out there, you all look wonderful. The twins looking great. I'm glad you're here. Everybody, Benja, Tashana, Ebo, Wendell, and all the others. Looking good. So what I do, I'm known as Collecting the Purpose Coach. And what I do is I help Christian women in business to identify their genius, their purpose, and then to shine in a big way. So in other words, dominate their industry, not just to show up in a little way, but to dominate. And I'm an international speaker. I am a business transformation coach, author. Other things I love to do, I love preaching, I love people, I love traveling, and I love reading. And I love just hanging out with friends. So one of the initiatives I have coming up is that I do an annual summit, virtual summit. It is 14 days, 28 speakers from around the world, and it's called From Purpose to Profit. You can go to FromPurposeToProfit.com to register. It starts September the 19th, and we're going to be helping Christian women in business around the world to uncover their calling and then teach them how to create a purpose-driven business. And I have the privilege of just connecting with and meeting some amazing speakers and experts from around the world who come and share their expertise. I would love for you all to participate. So again, go to FromPurposeToProfit.com. And then you asked me about DMing people if I respond. If somebody DMs me, I'm an extrovert, first of all, and I love people. So if someone DMs me, yes, I am going to respond to you. I'm going to be all excited and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? So I love to respond to people. My passion is really helping women to find their purpose and to help them to get past those fears, to boost that confidence. We all have confidence in us. Some of us have it covered up. But just helping you to boost that confidence and do things in a mighty and great and unique way, because we've all been made unique. So if someone DMs me, I am definitely going to respond to them. And I can't think of anything that has been crazy or unique. If I come up with it, I'll come back to you. So I'm going to choose, who am I going to choose? Tashana, I'm going to choose you because you got this nice, bright smile. So I'm going to choose you. So you're next.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Tashana Forbes. I am so nervous and shy up here with you all wonderful people. I am an immigration attorney. I have an immigration law firm, and I love what I do. It's a very interesting area of law because you get to help people. You really get to see the lives that you change. And so far, you know, God has blessed me. I've never lost a case. I've been successful so far.
Yeah.
So I hope to keep that train going. It just came to me like an epiphany. I said, I'm going to take my show on the road. And I packed up my law firm and we are going to do a tour. That's what I called it. It's called Come Met with Chat. I'm from Jamaica, so had to throw some patois in there. And basically, Come Met with Chat means come sit down and talk with me. And I'm going to go to different states and see if I can pack a stadium or an event center and just talk with a bunch of people about their immigration case and help who I can and just give them some wisdom. And it also is going to push me to step outside of my comfort zone and talk more because I am an introvert. And so we're going to be in Miami, August 28th in Coral Gables. And I'm looking forward to the people that we're going to meet. We are selling tickets. It's comemecwithchat.com. And if you know anyone that's looking for an immigration attorney that's going to be in the Florida, Miami area, would love to speak with them. And then as far as interesting DMs, so I think on my page, maybe about 5 to 7 per day that comes in. And I think the most interesting and the bizarre one was this young man who said that he cannot live his life without me in it. And he knew from the moment he saw my picture that I am the woman for him.
Yes.
And I did not respond because I just don't know how to respond to anything like that. I usually don't respond at all because sometimes it's just a bit overwhelming. Yeah, that's about it for me. And I am going to hand it over to Mr. Benjamin. Let him knock it out of the park for us.
All
Nice
right.
talking to everyone.
Well, thank you very much, Tishana. Definitely glad to be here. Natalie, I'm so thankful that you're putting this on. I am a total introvert, but I'm not shy. So thank you for pulling me out of my, underground dwelling and getting me to actually speak to people.
Yes, I
Like
thought
I'm
that
doing
was
here.
cute. That introvert selected introvert to introduce themselves. I thought that was pretty cool. Y'all can feel
Oh,
it.
yes. I'm gonna have to drink some water and lay down after this is over.
That's right.
Yes. Rest.
Totally
Recharge.
get it.
Recharge.
Yes. So I am an artist, designer, developer, and a general all-around creative, usually working in the computer or digital art space. And I have a movement. I'm calling the 8-bit cubist movement. You can see these images on the wall, maybe. Um, it's an art project that I've been doing for a while. I've run several gallery shows, and I also am a former video game developer. So that kind of leads into that as well. I work with podcasting and hosting some local events here and there. And Show versus Business is my most recent podcast, and Mr. Benja's ADD Experience is my other one. So I was definitely here for it when Natalie, you called for me. So yeah, you guys were talking about jumping into DMs. Obviously, being a dude, I have jumped into the DMs before. I don't think I've said anything too crazy to weird people out, uh, but I know it's being a digital native. I guess I have fun with meeting people online and saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" Finding out what their interests are. I think there's a good way to do it, and I've actually successfully met a lot of nice ladies online, doing things the proper way in terms of DMs. So I've gotten crazy stories from my end, but somebody may say otherwise, but I wouldn't know because they're not going to tell me, right?
No, we're not. We're going to ignore you and keep it moving.
Yes. I like the shirt too. Thank you, by the way.
Yes. Y'all see us. And the people y'all who you do not have on their shirts, it's not because they didn't want to be compliant. It's just because they didn't get there in time. Y'all forgive us. So we're not trying to single them out or make them look not a part. Which one of these kids are not like the other? It's not like that. They just didn't get it in time. So Benja, select someone else to introduce themselves. And y'all come with it. Come with the energy. Come on.
Yes. I'm going to pass it off to this other gentleman who I have extreme beard envy for. Wendell, I want you to take it from here because you're the next one up.
All right. Appreciate that, Ben. All right, so hello everybody, and my name is Wendell Berry, and I live currently in Tallahassee, Florida, home of my alma mater, Florida A&M. The Rattlers, one time for the Rattler Nation out there. And just a little bit about myself. I'm a father of 4. I am formally married, not married anymore, which gives a certain perspective on marriage and relationships. Things that I've got working on right now, I have been putting a lot of thought and planning and energy into putting together a book and a podcast. So for those of you on the panel with podcast experience, holla at your boy, because I'm going to need to, get with you on that. But it'll be called From the Mind of Men, Musings on Money, Marriage, and More. I'm also I'm a home birth advocate, in as much as I'm a father of 4. All 4 of my children were born at home with the assistance of midwives and doulas, and making a space for men in the birth space. Being able to assert myself in instructing and teaching men how to do so in a way that is complementary to the needs of their birthing partner, as well as celebrating and affirming our role and position in that space. And then finally, I love talking about money. I'm a mortgage professional, And so I will help people to gain homes, but I also teach people how to retire their home loans. So if you want to follow me, you can hit me on Instagram at Sadizi Dad. That's the name of the role that I created in the birth space. It is Swahili for he who helps. So that you can hit me at Sadizi. That's MSAIDIZI Dad. So Sadizi Dad on IG, and follow me here on Facebook as well, Wendell Berry. As far as the DM question, yeah, I don't really slide into DMs. I don't do that, at least not too much anyway. I may have to start, but not so much at this point in time. And then we'll see. I haven't had anyone sliding into mine, so that may be a new venture for me at some point in time in the future. So with that, I am going to turn it over to the lovely twins and allow them to grace us with their presence and their words. So
Hey. Thanks, Wendell. How you doing?
Hey, twins.
You know we were in the choir.
Yes. All hail, everybody.
Likewise. Right. We go way back, Ben, Nat. So it's so great to be on here. I'm Shanae. I am Shanika, and we don't have to talk together. So, I'll just go first.
Yeah, okay. You can go first.
Thanks. In the field of education, I served as a English language arts teacher for years, and now I'm with the district office of Gwinnett County Public Schools in the Atlanta metro area. And I work in the federal programs office. So we serve all the schools with their federal programs. If you've ever heard of Title I, or Title II, or Title III, or Title IV, those are the federal programs. So my office supports that. And I love it. I love education. I love giving back in that regard. And my particular title is Coordinator of Family and Community Engagement. So I consider myself an activist in the community. I am out all the time doing something, volunteering. I'm a member of Kiwanis. If you've ever heard of Kiwanis Club, I'm the upcoming first African-American female president in this area. So I get to take office in October. I'm excited, looking for a VP. But anyway, love what I do as well. Love education, love kids. On my Twitter, I always say I love people. I'm not your average public servant at all. I do serve as a board. I serve on a board in my local town. I live in Duluth, Georgia. So we all claim Atlanta, but we're not really in Atlanta. I live in Duluth, Georgia. Been here for a while, but from Tallahassee, went to FAMU. And as far as the DMs go, it depends, Nat. It depends. Don't come at me crazy in the DMs. I'm not going to answer. But if you're kind about it, hey, how are you? I'll respond. But don't come in there talking about randoms. What about you? I don't have anything as eloquent. I'm totally an introvert like Ben. I'm looking forward to my glass of water and pillow or something after this. I also work in education. I started as an English teacher as well, and now I am working in Atlanta public schools. So I actually do work in Atlanta with the online program. So students are joining that as a result of COVID and some other things that have taken place. And it's virtual, so students can work from home. Where that's what I've been doing, and I really like it. And actually, Nat, after we spoke, I got a new charge, I believe, to go and get something in instructional technology. So I'm actually working on that myself, so I can have an extra certification to just be have more options. Have more options. I love it, and I think it really was the podcast that fueled that for me. So thank you for that. And let's see, I also am a member of Kiwanis. I am not the president-elect or anything, but I serve in the community as well. We do sing as well, so we've been doing things like that. We haven't really had much of a platform lately, again, because of COVID and things just not fully back to normal or functioning how they did in the past. Mother of one. And DMs, I don't really get a lot of DMs. I get people who already follow me and they'll write me, but I don't really get anything. I don't really get that. So yeah, but if you did, If I did, I would respond if it's like you said, if someone, like Ben was appropriate and used, proper, etiquette or whatever it's called. But if someone does kind of come at you from the left and it's not, then yeah, that's not how we operate. Delete, block and delete.
Block, block, block.
Okay. Oh, we get to call on the next
Okay.
person.
Yes, call on a person.
Okay, I'm loving the hair, Rosanna.
Yes.
All right, Rosanna Vasquez, you're up. You're up.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, Natalie. My name is Rosanna Vasquez, and I'm a single mother of four. I'm a business entrepreneur of a small woman-owned for the state of Florida. It's called Making a Statement, and we do promotional and printing services for all business.
It's not small, but okay.
Most of our clients is for, it's usually government agencies from the state of Florida. We work a lot with the health departments, USF, Moffitt. So we are trying to set aside and go out for private businesses now. That's our focus moving forward. But when it comes to promotional items, we just bring your logo, we do graphic designs, we create. If you just started your business, we'll help you how to brand and get your business name out there. Basically, that's about it. My life is kind of boring. So when it comes to business, and I try to make it more exciting by now moving forward to traveling and with my kids especially. So it's just about the DM. I don't get none. I'm not a social media profile is private, so I don't know if that's the reason why.
Why?
Before a couple of years ago, I was into Facebook, and it was to a point where I guess I was addicted myself to it, and I just had to uninstall and disconnect. Now that I'm back to it, I just keep it very minimal. I keep it just focused on the business and putting new items in our business page, so they can find us at www.makingastatementllc.com. And there you can just browse through our website and see basically the products that we provide, and where you can contact directly from there, and you will get to me. So that's about it in my life.
All right. No, that's
so
enough.
I will pass this
enough.
on to my friend Tequila. Wonderful lady. So you're next.
Hey, cutie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tequila Fletcher, Tampa, Florida, born and raised, been here all my life. I am the owner of Trustaholic Beauty Supply Newly and a hair salon. I've been a hairstylist for about 20 years now, owned a salon for over 15. I just opened my beauty supply store. It's been about 8 months now. Ring the bell. And business has been going well. Hopefully soon, actually looking to expand, looking for a warehouse right now. So
yeah,
keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully the goal is to get into distribution so I can help some of these other sisters and brothers who want to get into the beauty supply industry, do their thing. I am a single mom of 3, hopefully soon grown kids. So, I mean,
right.
I got one more to go, one more year, and I'll be home free.
To go yet.
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't say that my life is boring. I would say my life is very busy.
Yeah.
COVID has slowed me down a lot because, as Natalie know, I am the travel queen, honey. Passport stamping on the go. But, I use this time now just to try to get all my business affairs in order. Alongside of the salon and the beauty supply store, I am a retailer reseller, which means I am a seller of things. I sell across multiple platforms. I currently have an eBay store. We're about to open our Amazon store as soon as my website gets finished so we can integrate it and make some more queens. Right. But as far as the DM is concerned, I do have a few be jumping in, but not for your girl, Just not my cup of tea,
yes,
you know?
Yes.
But if the right one seems to present himself,
Right.
and he comes correctly, I'd be like, what's happening? You know? But until then, I'm just
That's right.
singling, successful in these streets, and trying to, stay positive, and that's it.
That's it. And then one more introduction. Last but not least, Mr. Ibu Howard.
I am very upset that nobody called my name and I have to be the last one to wrap this up because I feel like I got to come with some grandiose thing and my life is extremely boring.
Why do y'all say that?
Y'all
better stop it. Y'all listen to these podcasts. These people's story are anything but boring. They're anything but boring, but I guess they feel like, I don't know. They want to do bigger, better, grander.
Right. But I mean, it don't sound as well as people having babies at home and working in the Title I office in Atlanta. Like, I mean, goodness, I'm like, whoa, can somebody pick me now? No, but I'm very, very happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invitation. I am Ibu Howard. I'm originally from Tampa, Florida, but I recently, within the past year, moved to Atlanta. Well, I'm claiming Atlanta, but I'm not in Atlanta. I'm actually in Union City. I too am an educator. I just completed my first year at Gillette Elementary in Union City, but I've been teaching. This is going on my 17th year that I've been teaching. I've done many things outside of the classroom. I was an academic coach. I was a site-based coach, but I'm in a new place. So, if y'all have some leads for me, feel free to send them my way.
Connect.
Let's see what else.
I know you're not trying to think of stuff to talk about. Where are you?
Can you guys hear me?
Where are you currently?
Oh, I am in Puerto Rico right now.
So
the signal
is okay. Yeah. That's
born in Puerto Rico. Okay.
My signal is horrible, so I am right. I'm logged into 2 devices right now. So if you guys can't hear me, let me know and I'll switch to the other one. I too, I'm a single dad. I have 3 children. My daughters are both at FAMU. They are Rattlers. That wasn't my idea, but they wanted to go there.
Whatever.
Smart girls.
And then I have an 8-year-old who I feel like I'm gonna be smart girls. Yeah, they love it. I also have an 8-year-old who I am ready to give away to anybody who wants him. Because I don't think he's ever gonna leave. So I too also, like the first guest, I'm a minister. I sing. I try to sing. I've been in, I guess, pretty high demand in Tampa. I had a group, the Minstrels of Worship. I miss them, by the way. Haven't really been doing much on the singing front since I moved because of COVID. But I'm looking to get back out there and do what God has called me to do. Also, I preach. I'm preaching engagements, and again, that too has slowed down significantly due to the COVID. But I'm enjoying this moment of kind of reset and rest and relaxation, because literally for about 10 years of my life, I was ripping and running like every day, it seemed, singing somewhere, preaching somewhere, doing this, doing that, balancing my life as a single dad and, just all of that stuff. And just feel good to be in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Come on now, y'all. I sense that we have a successful but single travel group.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes,
we want to run down and support
Yes,
Tashana when she's in Miami, or we might all go back to Puerto Rico. I just went to Dubai. We just came from Dubai, and that was amazing.
Yes, Nat. Those pictures were great.
Come on now. So sorry, Ibu, I ain't mean to cut you off. Continue.
I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the DM thing. So I don't slide in people's DMs personally, but I have had a young lady come into mind she sent me a message, and it was kind of odd. She basically said that she had a dream about me, and
Uh-oh.
in the dream she was standing at the door, knocking at the door, looking, and she could see me looking through the window, and I wouldn't open the door. And so she asked the question like, why won't you let me in? You know? So that was pretty interesting.
Did you respond?
Little pig, let me come in.
Come on.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin
Right.
chin.
No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. No, that's a little too aggressive for me. But I think that's probably the most far-fetched thing that somebody's ever said to me. Usually when people are hitting me up, it's business related, but that was pretty interesting.
Yes.
And I hope she's not listening to this podcast, because I ain't want to tell her business.
She will be. She'll be the one. She will be the one tuning in, because that's your fan, honey.
Got
So
fans.
this is, y'all, the Successful but Single podcast. We are doing our thing without a ring. I am your host, Natalie Freeman, and all these beautiful kings and queens are our guests today, y'all. This is the Successful but Single podcast called Success in the City. We're just doing a recap, a refresh, a run it back of those who have been on the podcast before, y'all. They say they're boring, but they're anything but. If you have not checked out their stories, go back and listen to them. They're out there on all of your favorite podcast outlets: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, iHeartRadio, all your favorites. You can find them. I'm sure I just forgot some. We're even putting them out on YouTube. So go subscribe, share. Speaking of which, if you have not shared this podcast, share them now, please. We thank you. For those who have already shared, Tracy Mason, we thank you so much for sharing this podcast. Christine, we thank you so much for sharing this podcast. Tequila Fletcher, thank you so much for sharing this podcast. So y'all get out there and share. If you have shared, put share in the comments so that we know that you're sharing, because guess what? We're going to do a drawing of some cool merchandise, Successful but Single stuff that we got. Ooh, look at that. That's what happened when you have them crazy backgrounds. It moves your stuff out of the way. So anyway, we got some stuff. I know you can't see it, but we got it. It's out here for you. You're going to be able to get it. And we're going to keep moving on. So y'all see my stuff? It's out here. Yep, we got shirts and all kind of cool merchandise. So y'all, again, support these people. As you can see, they're singers, they're educators. They have some supply and promotional products. They're promoting, doulas and birthing experiences for men, all kind of things, y'all. So if you have a website, please put it in the chat, guests. Let these guests know who you are, y'all. If great things are going on, we never hear about them, right? The bad stuff going on, we hear about it in abundance. So y'all put your URLs, put your Snapchats, your Instagrams, whatever. Let the people support you. Y'all buy these hair care products. Listen to these podcasts, right? Show versus business. Support this book when it comes out. Y'all seen Wendell Berry on this podcast? Y'all know he's got a lot to say and a lot of good information, right? So anyway, speaking of good information, y'all, we're about to have some raw, real conversations. So again, if you have shared the podcast, make sure you put share in the comments. Yep, I see it. I see y'all sharing. Put it in the comments so we can have a drawing and you can win some stuff. Speaking of stuff, Lord, don't let me forget my sponsors and people who love me. Thank you so much for Totally Lovable Creations, who do all our cool and jazzy merch. If you got your shirt on, just shimmy your shoulders, shake it up, or do whatever. Just show us your shirt. Right. Thank you, Totally Lovable Creations. We'll make sure that we give you a shout out in the comments too, y'all. You need some stuff done, call her. She does all this cute little blinks and things, wrap mugs and all that. Don't forget my girl though, Rosie Ma, on the podcast panel as well. Making a Statement is her business as well, y'all. For all your promotion needs, hit her up as well. We have options for you. Options. You want to be a successful woman and doing things to win? Hit us up. We got you. We got you covered on all fronts, from the back, front to the back, rooter to the tutor. We got you. Okay, so here's the time for our lightning round questions, y'all. I want you to hit it and quit it with these answers. I want you to give it to us, and we're going to keep it moving. Our first, and we have this little handy dandy mug that we use for our questions. So I shook it up. And our first topic is fight or flight. So I want you to tell us, podcast guests, and we're going to start with Tashana. When things happen in relationships that don't go well, and don't tell me you ain't had no relationships, you've had one or some or somewhere. Is it your first response to fight it, to work through it? Come on, babe, we can do it. Let's go, let's go. Or you be like, nah, I ain't got time. I'm out. Tashana, what say you?
Okay. Fight or flight. Well, it's a very interesting question, right? Because I'm really easygoing for the most part, you know. So I think if we get to that place where I'm always trying to work through it, like, you know, you want to talk about it, you need a little bit of space. You know, I'm pretty accommodating that way. But then, you know, if it's like at this place where, you know, I think that I've done all that I can, then it's just whatever. So
And what constitutes doing all you can? You tried to work through it a couple of times?
I feel like, you know, like I'm giving you space, right? So if you don't want to talk about it, if I say, hey, what's going on? Do you want to talk? And they don't respond, or, you know, I give them a couple of days to kind of figure their stuff out. And then if it's like, it's still nothing's changed and you still behave that way, I don't know what else to do. So I just shut down and I just don't do anything else. I just leave it alone. And whatever happens, happens.
It's pretty easy going. Ibu, you agree? Fight or flight? We should try to work it out. Fight it. You fighting for it. You know, you're doing all you can, and you be like, no, I'm done.
I think it all depends. So when I look at, you know, my past relationships, I did fight. You know, I think the older that I get, like now, like I don't have like time for the nonsense. So like I'm chucking the deuces like real quick because, you know, ain't nobody got time for that in my sweet brown voice. So I guess it depends.
All right. Anybody else want to chime in on this question? Fight or flight?
Yeah. I'll jump in on this one here, Natalie. I think that fight or flight is going to be a function of the value that you have on the person and the particular relationship. I think that where I'm at right now, I am more inclined to course correction rather than fighting, trying to stay at a particular place, or fleeing and chucking the deuces. Because at the end of the day, it's not my job to try to make someone be in my life, or to force my way into someone else's life, or to stay in a particular place relative to them. So I'm going to course correct, because at the end of the day, I'm the center of my own solar system. So I'm going to be the sun, and you get to decide I get to decide how close you get to orbit, and let that be it. I'll let that be it.
I'll call that. I'm the center of my own solar system, boo. You heard that? Somebody put that in the comments. That was good. And Rosie, I saw your hand raised. Fight or flight, boo?
I'm a fighter at first. I give you 3 chances, no, maybe more. But then, like Shauna say, you know, it's like I can't waste my energy on something that somebody else don't want. So I'm one of those that I fight to make it happen. I'm very communicative with my relationship. I'm a talker, so if I see something wrong, a wrong vibe, I'm like, what's going on? What happened? But again, if I don't see any changes and it's just draining me, then I'm a quitter quick. I flight out. So I'm in a point right now in my life that I think that's why I want to stay single. I just been through so much that I just feel happier being alone and just enjoying my kids and doing what I like to do instead of thinking about somebody else and how to make somebody else happy.
I love it, y'all. And there's nothing wrong with it, y'all. Fighting is important if it's important to you. Again, like Wendell said, you know, we are the center of our own solar system. Rosie said, you know what? At this season in my life, I'm good. Singleness works for me. I'm satisfied in my singleness. So it's nothing wrong with that. Y'all listening, you want to chip in or chime in on that? Let us know. Fight or flight, what's your preference and why? Okay, so we're going to keep this going. We're going to give everybody else time to answer something else too. But we want to answer a few questions on this panel. And so our next one is dating woes. I got to work on my background. Y'all can't see my little paper. Dating woes. That means like, whoa, am I tired? It's exhausting. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't know it's gonna be all like this out here. I just had a guest on y'all last Friday. He was a man, and I love it because he was giving the men's perspective. He was like, at first, it was just too much out there. Like he had to go back and recreate that profile to slim that thing down because it was just like, ooh, my Lord. So I want to hear from some of you all. Tequila Fletcher, dating woes, is it getting exhausting for you? Are you out there living your best life, dude? Like, just saying, enjoying the ride?
I mean, truth be told, I'm just out here living. It can be a little bit overwhelming, especially, I mean, for me, because these days it seems like I keep meeting a lot of mentally unavailable.
Okay, I like it.
So for me, it's, I don't know. Let me backpedal a little bit on that fight and flight. I'll fly in a minute because my patience for foolishness is so short. And like I tell people all the time, my life is real busy. So if I decide to make time for you, don't waste it. But I will fight for the right situation.
Come on.
But like I say, these days, I ain't gonna say I'm happy being single, but I'm just out here living.
Yeah.
And I'm out here testing the waters, but nothing solid, so.
Okay. Benja, speak on it. Now, did I detect some body language there with some of these responses, or was I just imagining things? Tell us.
No, you weren't. Your detection skills are on point. In terms of the fight or flight, actually leading into the dating woes, I'm a confrontational guy,
Okay. Yes.
and let me know if I'm chopping it out of here.
It is a little choppy, yes.
I don't mind the fight, but here's the thing. I attack problems, not people.
Okay.
So I try to be nice, very cordial, as you know me, but I don't let things just go. So one of my woes is at some point I get a little bit of an explosion, I guess, where it's like, why are you always talking about X, Y, and Z? So that's one of my whoa moments, and that means I haven't had the proper level of communication. So that's one of my woes that always pops up. Still working on it, but I'm one that's like, I got spinach in my tea, let me know, because I'm just open like that.
Yes. I love it. And Ben, you are dragging a little, so we'll give you a second to adjust that. But I love it. He said he doesn't attack y'all problems. He doesn't attack people. He attacks the problem, and he's not afraid to confront it. So funny he said that, y'all. And listen for this. This is coming up. I'm actually in a book club now. We're reading a book called The Art of Desire by LA author and relationship coach and sexologist Sharon Boudram. Awesome. And one of the things she talks about is setting expectations very early in the game. She said, you will either confront the people externally, or if you don't, you'll be confronting the person internally for the rest of the relationship. So I love it. So again, Art of Desire, if you want to check that out, if you're interested in being in this book club, DM me. We can talk about that as well. So I love that. Like I said, I don't know if you could hear me, Ben, but you were lulling, had a little. So we'll see if we can get that straightened out. Ibu, that was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful view of the pool in Puerto Rico. And so keep doing your thing. Keep showing us this lovely so we can live vicariously through you while you are on vacation. So thank you so much too. Twins, Nate or Nika, you want to jump in on any of those questions?
Sure. Do you want to take it? So I had, for the first one about fight or flight, I'm actually usually the flight one. I'm not much of a fighter. I don't. I kind of subscribe with some of the ladies and gents who were like, we just don't have time. I don't have that kind of energy or time anymore like that. And I don't do the chasing or the coercing or I don't do any of that. So that just is, I'm not gonna do that. So we're too old for that. Just too old.
What? I think the older we get, right?
So in my mind, I was saying, yeah, after a while, you do, give people some kind of grace. Obviously you'd like the same to be returned to you, but yeah, after a while, it's just not something. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the next. What was the other one at?
Dating woes. Are you tired of dating? Is it just becoming exhausting to you? Or are you energized by it?
Oh, no, definitely not energized by it. No, and what? But I actually enjoy dating. I just I'm kind of I like to use the word lull with Ben, but I'm in a lull right now. I'm in a relationship right now because long distance.
Okay. Relationship.
It's supposed to work because I'm busy. I'm pretty busy too. Tequila mentioned that in my life, we got too much going on. It should be just fine, but even that sometimes gets a little, I'm going to put forth effort. So should you, kind of thing. So, there is some woe to it, like, come on now, get it, get in the gear. We all in the fourth decade of life. We were anyway. So it's just, it is exhausting, but I'm not tired of it yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I like a free meal every now and then.
What did you say? Come on now. Oh, that's another podcast, y'all, because I was just talking to some men today and they say this dating budget is a real thing, y'all.
Me too.
I don't share those sentiments.
Mental notes.
Segment out.
Free meal out the deal. That's all I'm saying.
Why not? No, you can't do that.
She's like, I might be a twin, but I'm not.
Tell us how you really feel, ladies. Tell us how you really feel.
That is it.
I'm the wrong one to ask that question too, because I would sit there with a whole blank face, eating my salad like. Now, what are you saying? What? Okay, yeah, okay.
I hear podcast topics that I need to make note of.
Listen, keep it all the way real.
All the way real, y'all. This is what we're here to talk about. We'll talk about it all before it's all over. Yes, we will. Yes, we will, y'all. I was just talking to men about that. That whole budget thing for the dating is real. Do women need to come up with a dating budget as well?
Well, we do. I think we do. I think we all have a little bit.
I do. I pay for dates. I ain't gonna lie. Not all the time.
But if I'm gonna get taken out, I'm gonna enjoy the meal.
Listen,
come get it, Wendell.
What's my budget? So I know where to choose.
Did you ask what your budget is?
Yes. Where do you want to go? Listen, I like to ask. But see, I told her I am Hollywood. So, and I'm a little Bougetto just a little bit. So
Bougetto, girl, that's me, Bougetto.
I'm sorry?
I said, that's me, Bougetto. That's
yes, honey, because see, sometimes everybody's pockets can't align. So me, I like to be very courteous, and I would ask them clearly, okay, well, what's your budget? And he'd be like, it ain't none. I'd be like, well, let's go. Well, if you want to Chick-fil-A me, I love Chick-fil-A and nuggets too. So,
Chick-fil-A sauce, please.
Sometimes you just have to meet them where you meet them at, Everybody ain't there.
Hey.
So I love it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Christine, did you want to hop in here somewhere? And you all, if you haven't checked out Christine's podcast, please check it out. She has very much encouraged people and they've given feedback because she's in her 50s, if she doesn't mind me sharing, but she's got 51. Some very good insight and encouragement for men and women who are in that age bracket and still single. So y'all check out her podcast, Christine. Herbert,
darling.
Worth
Thank
the
you.
Wait is the name of that podcast.
Okay.
Worth the Wait.
Oh,
Christine, take it
I
from
like
here. What
it.
you got to say to us?
So I'm gonna jump on the flight or fight. So
Okay.
for me, I like to communicate. So if we're having problems, I want to talk about it. I want to sit down and talk about it, try and work it out and see how we go. But if I see that we keep talking and we keep going around the same mountain 10, 20 times, I'm going to pray about it. And if it's time, then we will exit. We don't have to have any drama. We could still be friends, but if we have to move on, we have to move on. But first and foremost, I want to communicate.
Yes.
I have a question.
Please.
Is it a thing to be friends with your exes? Because that's a rule for me. I don't, once we're done, like everything's done. We are not friends.
Ooh.
We're not enemies.
Before the men answer,
bad
the
thing.
women answer. I would like the men to answer. And this is
Oh God.
Single
I'll take
podcast.
it back.
We are doing our thing. Oh, we're not taking it back, honey. It is out there. Slow, boo. This question is hot. This is Successful but Single podcast. We are doing our thing without a ring. I am your host, Natalie Freeman. This is Success in the City podcast reunion of past podcast guests. You heard them, now see them. Jump in this conversation, y'all. It's juicy and hot. We are talking about, should you be friends with your ex? Tashana Forbes, Esquire, has put this question on the floor. I want the men to answer first. Pick one. Whoever wants to go, hit it. Go. Mm-hmm.
Be gentle. I'm sensitive.
I stay friends. I don't know. I hope that's not upsetting anybody later on down the line. But I kind of let them know that, like, look, we're not hanging out, going on roller coaster rides together. But that person existed. I liked them, and for a certain reason, and we're still likable. So that's that.
That's that. I agree.
I think for me it depends. It depends on what was the reason for the breakup. I think that if you guys just as adults said, hey, this is not working, we're not compatible, I don't see any reason why you can't be friends. I think that if you have kids together and you're co-parenting, you have to find a way to get through the muddy waters so that you can have some type of amicable relationship for the sake of your children. So to me, that amicability kind of hinges on the side of friendship a little bit. I think that you can get past the trauma, but if you have no attachment to this person, and I mean they were just completely grimy, to you, and users or manipulators, or it was physically abusive or whatever, run and don't look back.
Yeah, I would agree with Ibu there. Love is a kind of energy, and so it's neither created nor destroyed, but it does transmute. If romantic love once existed, and prior to that romantic love being there was a friendship love there, then there's no reason why the love can't shift back to friendship if you are indeed emotionally mature about it. And also you get to establish your own boundaries. So I think that's one of the big things when people have breakups and they feel like they can't be friends, is because they either allowed personal boundaries to be transgressed and they didn't speak up about it, and enforce their own boundaries and guard themselves. And so it can be a knee-jerk reaction to make the boundaries so impenetrable that there's no way to establish any other type of dynamic. But if you are able to communicate, if you were ever able to communicate and do so effectively, then there's no reason why you can't, simply because the intense feelings of attachment are no longer present. So
Well
just
said. Well said. I
yeah,
like that.
have your boundaries and
Absolutely.
enforce your boundaries.
Absolutely. And I'm going to jump in here just quickly before the women do their responses. This is Successful but Single Podcast. We're doing Success in the City podcast reunion. I am your host, Natalie Freeman. You have all these beautiful guests on the platform with me today. We're talking about, should you be friends with your ex? Can you be friends with your ex? Y'all stay tuned too, because I don't know if you realize that, but in between the podcast, we bring on relationship experts. Why? Because we're trying to get better at this thing. We're trying to find solutions. We're not just talking about problems. We want to have solutions. So we've had on the relationship coach. We are in talks right now to bring on other relationship coaches that are females, forgiveness coaches, sex coaches. So y'all stay tuned. It's coming raw, and it's coming real. Why? Because we real people. Got real issues and we need real solutions. Okay, so right now the question on the floor is, should you be friends? Can you be friends with exes? And as Wendell was saying, y'all, and please circle back, listen to his podcast, because we did a review of the all male review. Clothes on, filters off. Okay, so you want to check that out with Mr. Wendell Berry, because one great point, he made several great points in that podcast, but one great point he made was the relationship stage should be about relating. And if we are adult, if we are mature, if we are human, we should be able to come to an agreement that we're going to continue this thing, or we're going to cease from relating in this manner. And hopefully you can be able to still be amenable to each other, respectful, and hopefully continue a friendship. Now, y'all, if it was, like Ibu said, if it was unpleasant, unhealthy, maybe not the best person to stay in communication with. Why would you? If, again, they kind of messing up your energy and things like that. But I know personally, some of my exes, great relationships now, because we realized that romantic relationship was just not the path for us. Business, though, we hitting on all cylinders. You get what I'm saying? And then some people, not so much, probably won't ever talk to them again. But it's okay. It's okay if they okay. I mean, I'm okay. You okay? You know what I mean? So I'm saying, so again, y'all, the question on the floor is, can you be friends with your ex? Rosie, did you want to speak to that, or anyone else?
I can. I'm one that I'm friendly with everybody. I don't hold any kind of grudges. In my past relationship, I think I'm friends with every single one of them. If they don't want to talk to me, it's okay, and I move on. But I think you can. One of my kids' father, I think we became such a. I call him my best friend, my best buddy now. We have such a good relationship as parents. That is amazing. People don't believe it. Everybody thinks that we're probably getting something going on because we're always so close. That is no. But in our relationship, I think that was my shortest relationship that I ever had. So as partners, it didn't work. But now as friends, we rely on each other, especially, because of the children we share. So I think it is possible that you can become friends. And like some of y'all say, it all depends on what stage you ended that relationship and how you handled it, and how mature are you to move forward and let that say that was just a part of my life, but I don't need to continue feeling this kind of way for that person, and just moving on and, hold peace with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyone else, or Tashana, did you want to respond to the responses?
Well, I feel like I'm in the pond by myself now, because maybe I need to reconsider my thought process. But I just think that you give your best. And sometimes, I guess my experiences, I've had all terrible relationships, absolutely terrible. And so I guess I've not met a guy that I've dated where we can end things amicably and still be friends, especially if I'm still emotionally attached, meaning I still have loving feelings. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm not, Wendell used the term emotionally mature. And I would have to say, maybe at that stage, I'm just not strong enough to accept that, you're going to move on without me. So without facing that reality, I just cut it and I go. But also that's how I am as a person too, in general. And maybe pray for me, God got to deliver me from that one. But you know, when I'm pretty transparent and straightforward and open and honest and loving. And I think if there's a level of betrayal in a friendship, and even in relationships, then I just cut it, because it can come back and be worse, you know?
Mhm.
But yeah, you guys gave me something to go back to think about. And let me tell you something, I'm swallowing nails right now.
You know, I want to
Tashana.
say,
Oh my God, I am an Esquire. We don't admit that, you know, there is actually something, you actually have a point, you know, you can validate it. It's
can you
like
guys hear
biting
me?
Well,
nails.
Mhm. I think Ibu wanted to say something right quick, y'all.
I was gonna say, you know, I respect your view, and I don't think you're necessarily wrong. You know, I think it is hard, you know, when you've been emotionally attached to someone, and you guys break up, and the idea of that individual, you know, connecting with someone else outside of you, that's hard. You know, but I think that, you know, and I think Wendell said it earlier about creating healthy boundaries. I think that when you start creating those boundaries earlier, you know, early, it helps you in your healing process to kind of allow yourself to go through all the turmoil of, like, cause I can relate this to when, like, my divorce, you know, it was almost like a grieving process. You know, I'm sorry, I know they screaming all and everything.
They
in
just
the
having
food.
fun in the back.
Yeah, they living their best life.
Puerto
You know, but it was almost like a grieving process. You know, it's very similar to the death of a spouse, right? When you're going through a divorce, that ripping of two souls together. You know, so and there are some relationships that are very similar to that. You know, you've been so connected, you have so many things, you know, in common and bonded together, and it feels like, gosh, I'm never going to be able to move past this emotional stage, and we can't, you know, almost like that Deborah Cox songs, we can't be friends because I'm still in love with you, you know, and that's real. But I think that when you create those boundaries and you create, you know, the healthy space for yourself, you can overcome all of that emotional piece and still maintain or build a successful friendship with the person, where it could be like, you know, is it Rosanna? Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you know, your ex becomes your best friend, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That's nice.
yeah, I wanted to just kind of interject this as well. That there's a freedom and there's a power in that comes in with acceptance, appreciation, and release.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to accept someone for who and what they were at that particular point in time, to appreciate the fact that that energy and that dynamic existed, and also to accept the fact that that time has come and gone, and then to release it, can help you to not be stuck in a place where you're trying to hold on to something that doesn't need to hold space in your world right now. Because when you are so attached to a particular event and moment, then you become stuck there, and then you're not allowing yourself to receive and be present in the moment, and to make space for something better that could be coming your way. So what I have learned to do, because similarly to Rosanna, you know, my former spouse and I, we have 4 children together. We've gone our separate ways, but the energy and the love that we had between us has just changed. We don't love each other as husband and wife, but we love each other as co-parents, as human beings, and we appreciate the fact that the relationship that we had brought 4 beautiful children into the world, facilitated us growing to the place where we are right now, and helping us to grow and evolve. And so now, where we are now is a place of friendship. And I say I had to lose my spouse in order to get my friend back, and it's okay. I accept that, and I appreciate what that means to me now. So, you know, I just encourage you, you know, don't feel like you're stuck, because the intensity of the emotion that once existed is, you know, that energy has changed. You know, just like I said, create your boundaries, accept, appreciate, and then release. As I release you. And
We'll put
now
that
you
in.
make space for something else.
That is
Accept
good.
appreciation and release. Can you put that in the comments? Yes. Cheers.
That is
Cheers.
good.
Clap, clap, snap, snap. Y'all,
I
this
just
is
wanna,
the podcast doing our thing without a ring. I'm your host, Natalie Freeman. This is Success in the City Reunion. Podcast reunion, that is, for all our wonderful guests that have just shown up in the recent past. We're here chopping it up about life, living, and the pursuit of happiness. Y'all, again, good information, good topics, good answers. Y'all, if you want to cross connect and reach out to each other as guests on the podcast, do so. Become friends, share relationship stories, help each other out. We're about to become brothers and sisters in this thing. We never know, maybe more, right? You all in the listening audience.
And we're going to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and we want to go to Puerto Rico, right? If you're listening right now in the listening audience, one, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for sharing. We have one more opportunity for you to win a cool shirt or other awesome merchandise. We want you to just go ahead and put in the chat if you have somebody you want to shoot your shot with. My sound cue didn't go. I messed that up. Wah, 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 wah. All right. So anyway, if you are listening to this this podcast live, you see anybody on the stage you want to shoot your shot with, if you're bold enough to put it in the comments, we're going to put that in a drawing too. And you can win some awesome merchandise. Y'all, this has been Successful But Singing. It's been successful, don't you think? Also, reach out to our relationship guest, our relationship coach, Clarence Brown, if you have some questions. He has resources, y'all, some of which, how to determine what's a quality man versus a low quality man. He has great relationships on relationship books on communication. Come and talk to me. Again, we will be bringing on forgiveness coaches, sex coaches. We're going to be talking about it all, y'all. So stay tuned, stay locked on Successful But Single, y'all. This is all about relationships, all about successful single stories, and all about motivating you to be your best you that you can be. So again, y'all, if you are bold enough to if you want to shoot your shot with somebody, these guests are past guests, put in the comments. We're going to put it in the drawing. Hopefully we'll put the people in the drawing and you'll be able to talk to them as well. Okay. I was trying to cue up my sound effects again, and that was a bust. All right, so I'm gonna have to get a production staff. We're gonna work on that. Anyway, yes, thank you so much for coming on. Anybody have any last words that you want to share?
I think you all are amazing, and it was a pleasure getting to know each and every one of you. I wish you all nothing but great successes in your career. And it's the most I got from my introverted self.
Well, I was gonna say, thank you, Natalie, again for having me on the show. I'm always honored, to share this panel with all these amazing people. I don't know any of y'all, so we got to change that.
That's right.
It was great hearing different perspectives, and the conversation was really rich. And yeah, thank you. I don't really have anything else to say, but I'm happy to see us winning. That's a good thing.
That's right. Y'all talk to each other. Ibu, you right there in the ATL with the twins. So, y'all
yes, Ibu.
But it doesn't matter. We all virtual and stuff. So we'll come to Atlanta. You know how it is. So yes, y'all, stay tuned for these meetups, Successful But Single meetups. That is on the horizon. Successful But Single book club on the horizon. Hey, thanks for tuning in for a sneak peek of the Success in the City podcast reunion. We had a great time, and I hope you had a great time listening. Off the camera, we spoke another hour, and we encouraged each other, and we connected on an even deeper level. So you stay tuned for more exciting episodes, more exciting and amazing guests, and even some off the air in-person activities for the Successful But Single podcast community. Okay, so thank you so much. If you need us, you want anything, join us. Want some free merchandise? Always hit us up, successfulwithsinglepodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.
Then they feel me now, but then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they wanna get down. They want hold me for ransom, cause I'm young and I'm rich and I'm handsome. They want know where I come from, I they run to from Lagos. Oh yeah, shake body.